you start me up, if you start me up, I'll never stop. I've been running hot, you got me thinking, gonna blow my top. If you start me up, if you start me up, I'll never stop, never stop, never stop, and never stop. You make a grown man cry.
Donnell Bennett is the featured back. Anders the fullback. Bennett straight up the middle. Donnell Bennett to the Raider 36.
Boy, I'll tell you, Kimble Anders, number 38, gets a sensational block, and that hole is there.
Bennett. Touchdown.
Donnell Bennett, second effort, gets in for 12-yard touchdown, 21-3. Remember when it was a grinded-out offense that Kansas City had? Kimble Anders, touchdown. Kimble Anders, touchdown Chiefs. Second touchdown for Kimble Anders.
Third down and 7 from the 45. Straight drop by Gervach, flips it out to Anders. Can he get the first down? Yes, and a lot more inside the 40. He's got one man to beat, veers across the right side, and Kimble Anders stretches for the touchdown. 55 yards.
The 4-minute offense. I'm Noah Croniger alongside he's a little under the weather for us. He's part of the show. You know him well. Kimble Anders, Donnell Bennett, and our very special guest we thank for coming on tonight. Former Seattle Seahawk from 1990 to 1997. You know him, number 42, Chris Warren. How's it going, Chris?
Good. How's it going, fellas? Hey, I really appreciate you guys getting me on tonight and digging the old man up out of the dirt.
Hey.
But no, it's great to be here, man. And it's funny that when you called for me to do the show, I was going through YouTube and I started watching like all these KC Seattle games, man. And they were just battles from beginning to end.
Oh my goodness!
Kickoff, and so like to that last whistle went off, man. It was just like you knew they weren't going to give up. They weren't going to be intimidated. Nothing was going to stop them from doing what they wanted to do, man. So I appreciate you guys having me on, man.
Well, for those people that have lived in a hole who don't know, maybe some youngins watching the show, tuning in right now, let's inform them on who Chris Warren is and was. Right here, we're looking at the stats. 11 NFL seasons, played 8 of those in Seattle. 3-time Pro Bowler, almost 8,000 rushing yards, 52 touchdowns, almost 2,000 receiving yards. And one of those Pro Bowls was in 1995. That was your third, Chris. Kimble Anders, that was your first. What do you remember? I'll go with you first, Kimble, and then to you, Chris. From that 1995 Pro Bowl, Kimble, that was your first, like I said. Running back mates, Chris, and running back, you at fullback.
Was it 95?
Yep.
I thought it was 96.
95,
Okay.
96. Well, it went to 96. Yeah.
Right.
The 95 season, yeah.
Yeah, 95. Okay, good. It was just an honor to be part of something. When you get nominated for something like that, you knew your peers were a vital part of that, because at the end of the day, you want to go out there and win games and then do the best job you can do possibly to earn a spot at a Pro Bowl and stuff like that. So it was an honor for me to be part of that elite club and then seeing. And the fun thing back then, because we had we went to Hawaii, which was great. It was like a good vacation. And then the Super Bowl was played before the Pro Bowl. So the guys came over from the Pro Bowl. It just made you just that much hungry to want to go to a Super Bowl, because the guys come over talking about the Super Bowl with all that bragging and stuff. So it just made you feel some type of way because you didn't get an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. And, at the end of the day, that was the ultimate goal for a lot of us, to try to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and Chris, that was old hat to you. That's your third one. Been there, done that. But what was that like making your third one in 1995, third straight?
Oh man, I mean they were all special, man. From the first one to the last one, just to be able to be mentioned with the type players that were at the Pro Bowl. I mean, Kimble, you guys know Donnell, man. It was like the golden age of football when we played, man. It was
Right.
Hall of Famers everywhere. There were, uh, just guys that could play ball, man. And it was tough competition every week. You go out, you have a good game. You think, I got 150 this week. I'm good. Next game you see, it's like, hey, someone else got 175. So it was just great competition. But being at the Pro Bowl and being around those guys, man, you get to learn so much more that you didn't know. Just the way some guys prepare. The way some guys may set up a different run. They may set their blocks up differently. Just so much things you can learn from those guys just from watching on a daily basis. And even though our practices were just we came in with these hats on, and some guys didn't make it in at all, but we just it was just a great time, and just every minute at the Pro Bowl was special.
Well, Donnell, we've talked a lot about, we've talked with several former Chiefs running backs. We've had Greg Hill on this show. We've had Marcus Allen on this show. What was your kind of, memories of some of the other backs in the AFC West as you were coming in '94? You had Chris Warren out in Seattle. You had guys like Napoleon Kaufman that came in a little later there for the Raiders. You had guys like Glenn Milburn or Rod Bernstein in Denver. I mean, there were Natron Means in San Diego.
Yeah.
So what was your memories of some of those backs?
Well, we always watch a tape trying to steal something from each other, and I definitely say Chris made it on the slash.
Yeah.
Because he opened crossover and he had them big old shoulder pads that looked like but he was smooth, man. He was smooth,
Yeah.
and just his open step over crossover step, man, was awesome. And that's what we did, man. All competed, man. After the game, we dap it up and do the normal stuff, man. But between them lines, man, we trying to cave each other's chests in.
Absolutely. Chris, talk a little bit about your journey. You started out at Virginia. You end up at Division III Ferrum College, still there in Virginia. But what were you hearing kind of going into the draft? You're a fourth-round pick to Seattle. Just take us kind of through your journey, college into the draft.
Oh man, it's a wild story. Being drafted from Division III, but I started out D1 at University of Virginia, so I played 2 years there, and I was my first year I played corner. I didn't even play running back, so my freshman year I was a corner, and ended up playing corner ACC co-rookie of the year, and then I get moved to running back my sophomore year. So I'm like, well, damn, I just got comfortable at corner and you moved me to running back, but I had never played defense before. So it's like, all right, well, I just want to play, so just put me in there. And, I was on the radar at UVA as I could run, of course. I could jump. I had all the intangibles of first, second rounder, but I was in a D3 school. So, of course, being the competition, not as high. It's probably where the fourth round grade came from. But a funny story though, coming out of Ferrum, I made it to the Senior Bowl, and we had no logos on our helmets, right? So I'm coming from Division III, and I'm going to the Senior Bowl. So I'm like, man, all these guys in Alabama, they gonna have Texas, all the logos on their helmets, and I'm just coming there with a black helmet from Division III football. So I'm like, man, I got to do something. So we trade stickers and everything. So I just put every sticker I could put on my helmet. Yeah, went to the game. So like, what school did you go to? I'm like, well, don't you see? but it was tough. Not many scouts were coming to see games. Not many scouts were coming for any pro days. Not many scouts were even interested in even knowing where the school was. It's a small school, Southwestern Virginia, only 1,500 students. So Seahawks, Giants, Cleveland Browns came down and visited, worked me out. And on the day, the last workout I had was the Seahawks. Actually, was the last one. And I was coming home. I'd gone home for the weekend to, get ready for our pro day, get all my shoes, make sure all my stuff was right. Driving back, my car breaks down about an hour and a half away from campus. So I'm like, oh, car breaks down, Division III. This is like, I didn't make it for the workout. I'm like, they're not even gonna be there when I get on campus. So lo and behold, running back coach, and he was down there. So he was like, just stay where you are. We'll come where you are and work you out. I'm like, well, there's no cell phones or whatever. So this is 1988, 89. So they're like, stay right there. I was like, I'm at a rest stop. So don't worry about that. So I worked out for the Seahawks at a rest stop off of I-81 on the side of
Wow.
Dang.
That was awesome.
Yeah, so that's my draft story. To make things even worse from coming to D3, I had to work out on the rest stop grass.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a
But I
big
mean,
time
it
story.
was a great experience. I mean, going from D1 to D3, you find out that you really have to love football to play Division III, because there's no scholarships. You have to make your own excitement. Small crowds. So it's just it's an experience in itself.
Well, earlier in your career there, you're returning kicks and punts there in Seattle. You don't continue that, but early on you're doing that. What was that like, being back there, 6'2", 230, returning kicks? You don't see that quite often. Usually it's the smaller, quicker guys.
Right. I mean, I was I was kind of surprised that I did it past high school, really. I mean, that was my thing in high school. Was like, if I catch this kick and I take it back, then I don't have to run all of it down the field for the rest of the night.
I don't have to get hit.
So, I was like, I concentrated heavily on the kick and punt returns. And, I was a huge baseball player back in the day. So I was, before I played football, I was a baseball player up until like 10th grade. And, so I knew how to judge balls. I knew how to run balls down, fly balls, all that stuff. So it was kind of natural for me to catch punts and kickoffs. But that was really how I cut my teeth, really, in Seattle, and how I earned a spot was running down on kickoff team, punt return, kickoff return. I did that for the first 2 years. I think I only carried the ball 14 times my first 2 years in Seattle. And, I was all special teams guy, man. And then after I started, my third year is when I got my first start. And I was still doing punt return, kickoff return up until like week 4, week 5. And then they were like, okay, you can get off of that now. So
You're too valuable in the backfield to have you be returning those kicks and punts. But let's see how you made that team. We've got a little package here of you returning some kicks and punts here, Chris. Let's take a look at this.
Another standout performer was number 42, Chris Warren, who was the only player to finish in the AFC's top 5 for both punt and kickoff returns in each of the last 2 years.
Running up is Warren as he glides up to the 41, makes the catch, now tries to peel back. One man misses him, he's all the way back to the 33, now turns up the right sideline. Down the sideline he goes to the 40, down to the 30, one man to beat at the 20, stumbling to the 10, touchdown Seahawks! Warren takes it in!
Well, you see it right there. You had a little running backwards against the Colts, loop around. I mean, I'm sure the coaches are like, no, don't go backwards. Wait, yes, go.
Yeah. I was just trying to find that wall, man. If any of y'all know you guys are playing special teams, man, you got to find that wall to get anywhere.
Either way, you got to find that wall. If you're on the wrong side of that wall, you're in trouble.
That's right. That's right.
Kimble or Donnell, you guys never gave it a go at kick returns. We just saw what Chris could do. You guys, but either one of you at least give it a shot, right?
I mean, I got a couple kickoff returns in my career. Nothing like that, though. They kick, high right, and I tried my luck once or twice. And after that, I just caught everything else.
Yeah, I did. I used to be a punt returner in college. Yeah, so I think I finished like
you got those hands, brother. You could always you never dropped anything, man. You could block, catch, run. Both of you guys, man. It's like, we had pretty good defense. So I'm like, man, y'all better stop these boys.
Y'all had a hell of a defense. Y'all had a hell of a defense. Hey, trust me on that one. Every year we played y'all, man, it's probably one of the toughest games we played.
I was just about to say that, bro.
I know we won some or most of them, but
80%
will always be a dog.
Yeah.
It was gonna be a dog fight. It was gonna be to the very end. It was gonna be a dog fight every game.
And getting on that plane, you know you was in a real live football game. Like,
oh yeah. Once you scrub up against that turf a little bit, you like, man, it's gonna be like this all night.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, it was always tough, man. You know, you guys had the stellar, the killer defense. You know, Salamu in the middle, DT Neal on the sides. You got Simeon in the middle. You got Cherry. You got all your boys out there, man. It was, you know, wherever you look, it is, you know, you're looking at a monster. So I mean, that those battles really really shaped me in my career, man, and made me you know that I had to be on point every time I stepped on that field.
Well, Chris, we're going to look at some more highlights of yours. Believe me, it was such a pleasure watching you play, even as a Chiefs fan. But you talk about that great defense. We got to take it back to Christmas Eve, 1994, when the Chiefs held you to just 7 yards and the Seahawks to just 89 yards. Here's just a little clip of that, and we'll come back and kind of talk about that.
We're going to have a win today. We're going to be number one.
A smothering defense held Chris Warren to just 7 yards. The Seahawks totaled just 89.
What a defensive effort. They are on their feet and applauding the defense, which is having a curtain call. 89 yards of total offense, an all-time Kansas City Chief record. This game's over.
Well, you talked about that defense, and it definitely showed up on that day, man. That was crazy. 89 yards, but looks like Rick Meyer was in there. Maybe had John Freeze in there. Not a lot of stability at quarterback at that time.
They wouldn't take me out though. I was like, listen, let them keep getting hit.
Hey, you the only savior. You don't only one that had a chance to do anything.
Yeah. But no, man, I remember that like it was yesterday, man. It was a cold, crispy, sunny day. I believe you guys were. I don't know if this is like your clinch for first round bye or something that game or something like that.
Yeah.
And I knew. I said, man, these guys gonna be ready to play. And you know, I was ready to play. You know, I was like, oh, it's a little cold, but it's a nice day. You know, you feel good before the game starts. Like, yeah, we're gonna be hyped. We're gonna be hyped. And that first snap came and almost had to, you know, it was like, let me get the ball before he gets it. Everybody was in the backfield every play, and you know, it's just. You know, those guys were just monsters, man. And you know, the great DT, who was probably the leader of everything. He was, you know, slippery as grease trying to block, but physical as you know what when it came time to get down. So you had Neal, who would just, you know, you couldn't just stop him. You couldn't stop him. He always had a counter move, something else to do. So man, those defenses with the Chiefs back then, man, were just I mean, those are just classic games in my mind. You know, those are my Super Bowls. You know, those are my Super Bowls to play against that caliber defense and to do well.
And Donnell, I'll start with you, and then Kimble, if you want to add on, feel free. But what do you remember about going against those Seattle defenses? I mean, Cortez Kennedy, I mean, Chad Brown, Michael Sinclair. Later on, it was Sam Adams and Sean Springs and Blades. I mean, they just had so much there on that defensive side of the ball for Seattle as well.
Listen, I mean, we had a tough division as it is, but when you come back from playing them Seahawks, bro, you're gonna know, bro. I'm talking about. Because, you know, we run 16 power. That's our biggest play. And they got a Sam linebacker coming out that edge in that 50 front, bro. And he ain't trying to make the tackle, ain't looking for no pass. Like, it's just you and him in a phone booth. And we both of us got 35 cents, and we going to see who's going to make the call, coach. It's brutal, bro.
Yes, sir.
It was brutal, bro. And you feel it, bro. I feel it every morning waking up, bro.
Yeah, those games are always, like I said, it's a physical game, and we was more downhill running team, so we had to line up and run the ball down, try to run the ball down their throat, but they wasn't having it because they had everything, particularly up front. They had some big guys up front. They had the linebackers with speed at the time, and had some defensive backs that come up and hit. So it was just one of those type of games where you knew you was in a football game, and and it was going to be tough. And that's what football was, what I say it was about back then. We don't run the ball like that anymore, but that's what it was about, right?
That's right. Well, one team does.
yeah, one team. And we got them this week.
Oh, yeah.
Big old Derrick Henry's coming to town. But Chris, I wanted to ask you just kind of Seattle's struggles to find the right head coach and quarterback during your time there. Chuck Knox, then Tom Flores, then Dennis Erickson. You guys had Dave Craig,
Right.
John Freeze, Rick Meyer. You did have some Warren Moon there later on in your time there. And obviously he's a great Hall of Fame quarterback when he was there with Seattle, when he was with their Houston Oilers. But what do you remember about that struggle to find the right head coach quarterback combination?
Man, it was it was a struggle because that probably was our biggest weakness at the time. Our defense was pretty good. Our offense was not bad. We weren't just totally stagnant, but that was kind of a something that we struggled with. We didn't have great quarterback play throughout the time I was there. Rick Meyer was promising. He had a couple of injuries that slowed him down, and then he couldn't develop, and then it just things kind of started to run downhill. Coach Erickson comes in, then he brings his Miami crew, the guys from college, and so
Donnell knows a little about that.
Donnell does know a little bit about that,
and so. We were always middle of the road team. We needed that guy that could take us over the top at the quarterback position for sure. All in all, you can. There's only so many players that have spots. So I just feel like we just kept getting the short end of the stick when it came to the quarterback situation. But we were a running team. Basically we ran the ball. We did play action. We used tight ends, somewhat, but we would never, go down the field type team. Even though, until Galloway got in. When Joey Galloway came in, we developed a little more of a deep threat and a little more explosive offense. But it was a struggle with 3 different head coaches in 8 years. But we kept the running game the same pretty much. Erickson comes in. And things kind of, that's when the change begins. So I had to split time with 2 other running backs, Broussard and Lamar Smith at the time. And I'm coming off 4 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons and 1,400 yards, and then I got to come back and split time with 2 guys that's never played.
Broussard, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it was some stuff going on, and I just wanted to play ball and keep my part of the deal up as far as I signed on to Seattle to be there and to give my all as for every game I was in, no matter what the coaching situation, with the quarterback situation, or playing time situation. So I've been on the bench playing special teams. I know what that feels like. So if I got to split time with 2 other guys and I can still get carries in the NFL, I'm cool.
Yeah, and Donnell, talk a little bit about your time with Dennis, and then hearing that he's coming not only to the NFL but to your guys' division, the AFC West, to coach the Seattle Seahawks.
Well, it was interesting, man, and playing against him was a lot of fun. Like Chris said, a couple other guys are there, D. Will, C.J. Richardson, a couple other guys, man. Cortez was, but every time we played, I got a picture somewhere around here where we played against each other, and maybe about 8 or 9 guys from UM played against each other in that game, man. And it was really nice, man. But Coach E's always been good to me, man, and it was a pleasure to beat up on him, because I do think we were like 92%.
That's about right.
Well, Chris, we saw you earlier having the game where you only were held to 7 yards against the Chiefs, but we didn't want to leave out the fact that you had a couple really nice games against the Chiefs. We got a little package here that also includes your longest run from scrimmage in your career, which happened in 1994 at Arrowhead Stadium. Let's check it out.
Run the season.
Chris is a very powerful and deceptively fast type of football player. He's got tremendous abilities, and I think he's just a puppy, just starting to learn.
In 1992, Chris Warren learned well and rocketed to the head of his class.
Chris led the team in rushing for the 5th straight season. He broke off the longest touchdown run of his career and now has more 100-yard games than any other ball carrier in Seahawks history.
Chris Warren was named the team's most valuable player in 1994. But he and every Seahawk realizes that while individual accomplishments are nice, they are the result of the efforts of every player on the team and are achieved because of a common goal: winning.
Ooh, got some smooth through those holes.
Look like Eric Dickerson a little bit right there.
Oh, man, I need to work on my breakaway a little bit though.
Hey, you got it. It's so smooth. You can't tell.
Bro.
It's so smooth, man.
And he was sneaky heavy too, bro.
Yeah.
He gonna break some tackles.
6'2", 225, 230.
About 230. Yep.
He was 225. The pads were the other 5 pounds. That got him.
Exactly. I was a little skinny up under there, but that's why I had the bigger pads on.
Man,
but yeah, man, that was man. Those days are incredible, man. To be even sitting there talking with you guys, with Donnell and Kimble and the careers they've had, and where they've gone and where they've come from, and their resumes, man, for them, to be, giving me the compliments, man, is like it makes it all worth it.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of the sport, though, man. That's why I say, just being, being part of it has just been a blessing to me to even, be at 55 now and be able to look at some of that stuff that you got to kind of reminisce and like, wow, you really did that shit. You know what I mean? That's right. It's kind of amazing once you look at it from a different scope. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Most time we don't sit down and look at it that way. You know what I mean? But then you sit back and start getting a little old, like, okay, look like a little football player right there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, because we used to watch a film and being critical of ourselves. It's like,
right.
Like, I didn't get this, I didn't do that, or
right.
It's always an evaluation of yourself. But you can look at it now and look back and say, okay, I'm totally out of the game. I have no more heart for it. All that,
right.
All that stuff, and you can look at it and say, like, man, how in the hell was I out there? I did all that.
Yeah.
Where did I get that energy from?
Oh, we got a question here from our YouTube. It's Mr. Chris. Why did you wear number 42?
42. That's a great question. I was a baseball player, like I said earlier. Jackie Robinson was the inspiration for that. Along with, I was number 44 in high school and 22 in college. So I took one number from each, and it still worked out with Jackie Robinson. So that was the reason I got 42.
That's awesome. That's a good story, bro.
Yeah.
Well, I want to evaluate. You mentioned evaluating some film on yourself. I want to evaluate this 51-yard run against Buffalo, where Jeff Burris in today's NFL would have a 15-yard penalty for a horrible horse collar on you. We're glad that you weren't injured on the play, but we got to see this because this was a touchdown all the way until this what would be today penalty.
And a check of the ticker showing the finals of the earlier ball game. Here's Chris Warren. Cuts back. He's breaking it. He'll go all the way. No, he won't. Inside the 20. He's got it. Jeff Burris saves the touchdown.
Wow, Charlie. I mean, you want to talk about a demonstration of a cut-back run?
Awesome.
Absolutely perfect. Why do you cut back? Watch onside. Bruce Smith. See Bruce Smith, the old side of that defense is all going onside. Warren came to a dead stop and cut back to avoid him. I mean, Burris makes that tackle to save the touchdown, but watch Warren. Speed brakes, air brakes, stop. See you. gone. Phil Hansen has a shot right there, but just a shot, not much of a shot. They had to rely on the speed of Burris to get that one.
We talk about building the wall, and you cut back against that wall, and man, you looked like you were gone. But how happy are all of us that horse collar is out of the game?
Man.
That was brutal, man. I look at that now, and I mean, I'm lucky. I just, my legs just went limp. I was like, wait a minute, someone's on my back. I'm not gonna keep running. But that could have been, both of these could have been blown. But it's glad. I'm glad they took that out of the game, man. It's no need for it. I mean, there are too many great athletes that lose careers off of silly plays, man. So I'm glad they definitely took that out, and I'm glad I didn't get caught up in that stuff. And plus, it was artificial turf, so I'm glad I did that.
Guys, maybe it was just, Noah and I growing up in the 90s, and that's the football that we grew up on, but there was a certain poetic quality to football that existed. You see these highlights, you see the John Facenda music and voiceovers, and the way that it just looked like Chris's runs looked like poetry in motion. And it just seems like that was, Chris mentioned that you guys played in the golden era, and I truly believe that you did. Are you guys all glad that you played in the era that you did? Because to me, it'll never be topped.
Yeah, I mean, just like Chris said, both teams had great defenses, and we faced each other in practice. So the offense was just hardcore, hard-nosed, and that's why the games were so good. But, to me, the camaraderie, just having the opportunity to have Chris come on the show, man, it just means a lot, man. We want to say thank you again, man, because, just like Kimble say, man, the brotherhood is there, but it's been, I don't know how many years, but we just picked right back up like we just saw each other yesterday, man. And
That's
to
right.
me,
Just like we done up after the game.
Yeah, man. And that's what it's about, man. That's what this whole show is about. And that's what it's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
And Chris, and also to Donnell and Kimble after Chris goes, I want to ask you, you guys didn't win a Super Bowl in your career. What did it mean to you to see Russell Wilson and the Seahawks win the Super Bowl? And then to Donnell and Kimble, Patrick Mahomes go on and win Super Bowl 54. Obviously, the Seahawks had a shot at 2, as did the Chiefs. The Seahawks a little bit closer. If they just would have gave Marshawn Lynch the football, they didn't do so. But what did that mean to you to see the teams that you guys played for finally get over that hump and win a Super Bowl?
Oh man, it was incredible, man. I was there for the ride. It was going through the entire season, and seeing the momentum build up, seeing the team get better and better. Starting to depend on certain aspects of the game. Okay, well, we know they can come back. We know they can do this. We know they'll do this to win the game. So any situation that came up during the football game, they were able to accomplish it and overcome it, and make it a positive for them, throughout the whole season, and ended up in the Super Bowl. So, and that just makes it better for the entire organization. All the former players that come back, now it's like, okay, well, we had a part in building that Super Bowl. We had a part in, what's going on with the teams now. As you can see with the Seahawks, I mean, after I left, and before I even got there, it was Kurt Warner. Then it was me. Then it was Sean Alexander. Then, then you bring in Ricky Waters and you bring in Beast Mode, even though they weren't drafted there. But, it's just things that keep going, and your organization builds something to lay their hat on and say, this is what we do. This is how we win, and we're going to be a winning organization. So it kind of solidifies that with winning the Super Bowl.
And then Donnell, what was kind of your feelings and emotions after seeing the Chiefs win Super Bowl 54?
Same thing. Yeah, at first you're thinking about, you're happy for them, but you don't go all out because you say it wasn't you playing in it. And then when you think about, like Chris said, man, you helped build that culture. You helped, build that winning tradition, man. And to know that what you worked so hard for, you finally saw the fruits of your labor. So, I mean, it was special, man. Special feeling. And, we was along for the ride too, man. And it was just good to watch the guys and see them do it, man. It was awesome.
Yeah, and then to add to that, I mean, it's the same feeling for me as well, because with the Hunt family, they longed the Super Bowl since I don't know what year that was. won in '69 and they haven't had it. And for them to go back 50 years later and being able to accomplish what they did, and we fell short so many times. So so I felt like for me it was just a pleasure to be part of it. And also we got an opportunity to get a ring as well. So I thought that was the most. I mean, that was a big statement for them to even offer the Super Bowl ring, because when I first heard about it, I got something in the mail about a Super Bowl ring. I'm like, dang, I probably never wear it, but but just the thought though, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a pleasure, because like I say, we paved the way for something like that to happen, and now the tradition gonna keep going on and on throughout. And like I say, that's the beauty of this game. The NFL is always bigger than the player, So that's what I love about it.
We got another question for Chris, which is, what is Mr. Chris doing now? I know you've been involved in coaching. What's going on these days, Mr. Warren?
Well, these days, man, I'm just I work out with athletes. I do athlete consulting, help kids with mentorship. I'm training, doing sports performance training, and but mostly I have a athletic consulting business where I'm helping high school, college kids, reach their promises, reach their goals as far as going to college. Just giving them advice along the way that helped me. And I'm just basing everything off of the positive things that happened to me in my football career, and also sharing stories of negative stories that I was able to turn things around, or just make a positive out of a negative situation. So right now I'm still involved in sports, but I'm adding a little life skills with it.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And Chris, not only that, you wrote a book in 2019. Am I right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the pandemic book. But it came about. I've always wanted, I've always, been a guy to write things. Even when I've been in meetings, doing football, we watch a film. I'm in there just writing stuff. So, I just figured, I'd write a book about life skills. It's called Life Lessons Before and After the Game. So I'm just giving stories that, tell stuff about my whole life and how, how things happened, and how I made it to the league, how I made it to college, how, some negative things happened in my life, how I was able to turn them around. And, so it's just a book. It's like a share all story. And it's written with kids in mind. So it was written with my kids in mind to give advice. So that was the whole brainstorm behind it. And
yeah, we absolutely recommend that. Barnes & Noble, Amazon, places you can go and search that and look for it. So we'll have a link when this is up. So definitely we recommend going to check that out and supporting Chris and this book and the life lessons that your kids and every kid can learn from this to help them get to the next level. So we definitely recommend
that. Thank you. Appreciate that.
And it's you guys, all three of you guys in your post football lives have gone on to be mentors and work with young kids. And all of you, three of you have made impacts with so many people. There's no, that's not by accident, I don't think. I mean, I think that the three of you kind of exude leadership back when you played and in your post-football lives. That's maybe more meaningful than what you did on the football field, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
That's incredible.
Yeah, being able to give back. And also we're representing two of maybe the top 4 NFL fan bases here. It looks, Chris, you're on the road. You're in Arrowhead right now. We got 4 of us Chiefs people here. But
two of the loudest, I know that much, right?
But we can't forget Buffalo and Green Bay as well, but representing Kansas City, Seattle here. Let's talk a little bit about the fan bases and the noise going into some of these environments. Chris, we'll start with you going into Arrowhead.
Man, it's well, first of all, we got to see all the barbecue going on. We come in and everybody's tailgating and we're like, we got to play a game right now. I want to go eat something. But it just the whole atmosphere, man. From when you're riding up the highway, you see Arrowhead off to the distance off the highway, man, and you see it, you like, and it just builds up, just keeps building as you get closer to the stadium. And once you step on the field, it's over, and they get the chopping going, and don't let them score first, or when they score on you, it's over. you know, it's just not going to be any quiet until you go back to the locker room. But it's one of the, I mean, all-time great home field advantages that you can never ever have. I mean, especially when the weather gets cold, and that ground gets hard. You know, they know how to deal with it. You know, people that don't know how to deal with that that Midwest PC stuff, man, they come in there and get tore up. So it was definitely you know, home field advantage from the noise. I mean, it's hard to hear the snap count. It's hard to hear the checks. It's hard to you know, just communicate. You know, like we have to do in a football game. So yeah, man, that's you know, one of the hardest places I've ever played in.
And on the other side, the Kingdome was always notoriously loud, guys.
Yeah,
Was it not?
Great fan base, man. They were always loud and they were always giving us a business, bro. That, you know, the fans was pretty close to the field. Then it's freezing in there, bro. That's the only place indoors that you almost want to play outside in the weather.
The cold dome.
Yeah, and that turf was
just
hard,
protect you from the rain, right? All you do is protect you from the rain. That's it.
Man, listen, bro. But and then, you know, the defense and everybody talking trash, man. It was pretty exciting to go there and play, man. It was exciting.
Kimble, what are some of your memories for playing in the Kingdome?
Oh, it was fantastic. Like I said, it was part of it was a different culture. Like I say, at that time, I mean, everybody was pumped up to be there, and it was very loud. And the turf situation was probably the worst to me, but that was almost that's a y'all beneficial to have the turf, because that turf was horrible.
So, we knew what the spots were.
Yeah, we knew what the spots were. It was kind of slick at some spots. If you hit on the white line, sometimes you hit one of them, you're gonna slip and fall, man.
Yeah, because remember they played the Mariners played baseball in there too. So, and they would shave down the mound,
right,
or the pitcher's mound, and just put that turf over there. So
did we have an issue in one game where they had to stop the game? Something happened during the game?
I think it was a leak in the roof or something.
The roof was leaking. Yep. And the very next game we had to go play at Husky Stadium at University of Washington. We finished the season at the University of Washington that year.
Okay,
yeah. We didn't play any more home games after that.
But they definitely had a great fan base too. I mean, definitely.
And Chris, I think you were a rookie in 1990 for Derek Thomas's record 7-sack game. So you were sitting there watching that. He didn't get the 8th sack on Dave Craig, which he needed to win the game. Unfortunately, Dave escaped, threw a touchdown, and the Chiefs lose. We needed that 8th sack.
Oh man, I think that may be the only time I won against the Chiefs up in KC. It was my rookie year. Yeah. And I'm sitting on the bench. Another funny story about that. I was a punt returner. And we had held them, we had to get them off the field so we could, at least get the ball back and have a chance to win. So I'm like, all right, I'm out there, I'm a rookie. Big game. I'm watching, Derek DT, he's just up and down, just tearing up the left tackle all day long. And I'm like, man, I'm not playing today. But so I go back to receive the punt. And I'm like, I cannot let it hit the ground no matter what. But I want, I'm trying to get some yards to get a little improvement. And that's how I was going to fair catch it. No, I'm not going to fair catch. So I catch it. And I look up, and I don't know who that big tight end was. The big Jonathan somebody.
Jonathan Hayes.
Yeah. He came to across and knocked me down, knocked me out, kind of, right? I was wobbling. I held on to the ball, and then I just ran straight to the bench and sat down. I don't know what's going on out there in the field, but somebody just struck the hell out of me. And the next thing I know, it was just a bunch of noise, like, he won the game. I'm like, I had no idea what's going on.
Been there, done that, boy, for sure.
I think the left tackle that Derek Thomas was terrorizing was Andy Heck, the current Chiefs offensive line coach.
Oh, really?
Oh. Andy Heck was we played against him in high. He was a high school rivalry of mine.
Really?
Yep. Big Heck.
Yeah, so Derek terrorizing the current Chiefs offensive line coach. That's got to be some good stories there. But Chris, you move on from Seattle. They bring in Ricky Waters. You go on to Dallas. just talk to us about moving on to Dallas and kind of what the conversations were like, them wanting to bring in Ricky Waters. And after that, we'll have a clip here of you scoring against your old team in a Dallas uniform. That's good stuff.
Oh yeah, I got to see that. When the whole thing went down when I was leaving Seattle and all everything that happened, I was a salary cap issue. I think I was scheduled to make like $6 million or something like that, and back in '98, which was unheard of.
Yeah.
So I knew it was coming. They didn't have to bring a press release or anything, but I think. When guys start to, take visits to other teams in free agency, your phone starts to ring like, hey, man, I'm going out to Seattle, because I think Nathan Means called me and told me he's visited Seattle before I heard the news from Seattle that they were going to release me.
Wow.
So that's how I found out. And then, so I get on my phone with the agent and we start calling back and forth to different teams, whatever. There was some interest with New Orleans, Raiders. I don't know where they were playing at the time. I think they were back in Oakland.
Yeah.
Yeah, 98, yeah.
Yeah, there was the Jets and Washington. And then Dallas came in like at the last minute. And so Jerry, he comes in with his whole pitch about, what's with the Cowboys and
America's team.
We got something special for you. Da, da, da. So I'm like, all right. So how are we gonna work this out? So
that's good.
Is Emmett?
Yeah, like how we gonna work this out? Me and Emmett. So it's like, okay, I know Emmett's a man. He got 3 Super Bowls. He's Mount Rushmore there. There's nothing I can do but compliment Emmett. You know what I'm saying? So I was there basically. Jerry expressed to me that. How important, it was that Emmett played well and how important it was to have a backup in case, something happened. So, I felt good with going to Dallas and helping Emmett get the record. And
keeping him fresh.
Keeping him fresh, when it's, he didn't feel like playing a certain game or two, whatever. I was there to fill in and, not have any drop off. So, and the pay was good. So I mean, I was happy with the whole situation. There was a chance for me to get to the Super Bowl. We still had Aikman. We still had the offensive line was still intact. Defense was pretty good. So I thought as long as we have a quarterback, offensive line, we could at least make some noise. So ended up in Dallas 3 years, and it worked out for me. I had the highest per carry average that I had in my whole career, 5.9. So
thank you, Nate Newton and Larry Allen. Thank you.
Thank you. You got my numbers up.
Okay, so here's the last video of the night, but probably the sweetest, you scoring against those Seattle Seahawks that didn't want to pay you that $6 million. Let's look at this.
Seattle offense hasn't done much. The defense knows they're going to be the ones to make the play. Warren still going. And a sweet measure of revenge for Chris Warren. There, this offensive line is back to the old style. And when you talk about old linemen and being able to move 340-something pounds of dominating offensive tackle, just speed bumps Chad Brown. Larry Allen, there are not very many tackles can make that block right there, and that's against an all-pro player in Chad Brown. And they're going to get Chris Warren a touchdown against his former team. Remember, Chris Warren was the feature back the last few years for the Seattle Seahawks until they decided to go into the free agency market and bring in Ricky Waters as that last final missing piece of the puzzle. Ricky Waters is just the latest, looks good on paper guy for the Seattle Seahawks. He's doing what Ricky Waters does, but there's little coordination of all that. And I'm sorry, Chris Warren can't play with one shoe. You can't have one shoe in one hand, the other shoe on your right foot, and figure that's all going to work out fine. He doesn't want to come out. Look at him. He still throws the shoe off. What are you going to do, score with that one? Sure. No, it can't be done. You can't do it with two shoes. How are you going to do it with one? Shoeless Chris Warren. And they
They lead by 9, 23-19. Let's try Chris Warren again. Touchdown, Dallas.
You are not coming off that field, whether it's one shoe or not. You're staying in that game and scoring that touchdown.
No way. No, I had to get it.
That's real football right there, bro. For what?
Yeah, a whole lot of violence right there, bro.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of violence.
Hey, now see what y'all talking about trying to go against that Seattle defense, man.
Oh my God.
This boys, Cortez and Sam Adams in that middle.
How sweet was that to score on your former team there with the Cowboys?
Man, it was you know, everyone likes to play just to play against your former team, but the score at home, you know, against them, and you know, it's in the books forever. You know, that felt really good. You know, I don't have any hard feelings towards, you know, what happened and having to finish my career at a different team. I got everything I could get out of Seattle. I gave them everything I had, and you know, it was just time to move on. So, you know, it's I still go out to Seattle every first game of the season, have an alumni weekend. So, I'm still connected with the team. You know, so it's everything's good.
Having seen that, what Larry Allen did to Chad Brown in that clip, if outside the game of football, is illegal in all 50 states. I checked. So,
oh man, he used to do that to his own teammates in practice every day, man. So it was. He's like, you don't want him out there. Don't want him to get blocked. Don't put him on the field, coach.
These kids these days don't know nothing about that.
Yeah, don't know nothing about that. Yep. And it was just you know, it was Larry Allen, you knew for a fact if it's play side or backside, I got LA right there. He's gonna handle his business. You know what I mean? So if play breaks down right here, linebackers don't want to flow. I know Larry Allen's driving this man 4 or 5 yards off the ball. So I'm just gonna ease on back over there. fall in behind Larry, get my yards, and get on back to the huddle.
yeah, and Donnell, talk a little bit about that pulling guard situation we saw there from Larry Allen, but you guys had one of Will Shields. Whether it be Shields or Zott, you had some great ones, Grunhard in the middle. Talk a little bit about some of the offensive linemen that you guys had, of course.
Man, listen, and we had a lot of fun too, bro. I remember, and every year I'm gonna tell you what they used to do to us. Every year they go find a linebacker that maybe D2, whatever you want to call it, but he is 100% gonna go full speed every play. Every play. Because we went inside run was live every day. Like no joke. I don't care if it was December. We was in the third round of the playoff. We gonna go full pass for inside run. Then Marty let us take them off at the end, bro. Man, and every year it'd be somebody. Kimble, am I lying?
No, that's the facts.
Bro, they go find somebody. It was one dude, I think he ended up working for Oakley. Bro, he used to tear the practice up. That's all he did. He ain't practice in the team period. You wouldn't even see him till inside run.
Right. Like, where we get this dude from?
Like, you just come out there and they tell him, I want you to line up. If you want to make this team, you line up over here. And every time that fullback come to block you, you bust him in his mouth, bro. And that's just what we practice every day, man. That's all we knew, man. Even when I got to Washington, Bruce Smith and them guys, that Bruce said, man, y'all practice like this every day? I was like, yeah, bro. Every day.
Yeah, we had to, man. It was rough. I mean, practices were harder than the games for me.
Harder than the game,
yeah. You know, the games is like, man, I can just go run now. That practice was rough, man. 907, 2-a-days in summertime, man. There wasn't no breaks.
How many straight 2-a-days we did down there? 18, 21? 21 straight 2-a-days before we got a break.
Damn. What are you
bro,
doing?
I'm a rookie, bro. I'm a rookie.
You can't take that.
Oh my goodness, bro. I wanted to go back to school and get my education, bro.
You're right. You're like, where is that plane? Every plane that ride on the practice field. Like, man, I wish I was on that plane right now. I'd rather be in here.
Bro, yeah. 100%, bro.
We have a question here. Mr. Warren, would or have you retired as a Seahawk or Cowboy? I believe you are retired as a Seahawk, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. I retired as a Seahawk. Seahawks wouldn't let me retire in any other way. I was there 8 years also. I mean, I wouldn't want to retire as anything else other than Seahawks. So yeah, Seahawks all the way.
All right, Chris, we got to thank you for coming on the show tonight.
Appreciate you coming, man.
Yes.
No, I appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate you, brothers, man.
It's an absolute honor. Before you got in here, we were all talking about how you were one of our favorite backs, even Kimble and Donnell.
One of my favorite.
Oh, man. Come on, man. Y'all make me
for
blessed
real.
over here. Come
I'm
on, y'all
serious.
get the old man right. You know, make the old man cry over here now.
I'm serious, dog. You know how it is. We keep eye on each other, man. You know, we see you know what it is.
No doubt about it, man.
And like
No
I said,
doubt
we
about
take a little bits and pieces. We watch a lot of film on you guys, so we watch you, man. So we definitely appreciate you coming on, man.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you guys, man. And y'all, you guys were a hell of a tandem. Y'all could catch, run, block, you do it all. You know, you could one back set, two back set, split them, whatever. You name it, y'all could do it, man. So yeah, big ups to you guys, man. RBs, baby, bro.
Yo,
all right, sure.
We missed that 90s era. We missed those 90s Seahawks uniforms. We got to get those back somehow, some way.
I know, right?
We got to get people to start running the ball a little more, man.
Yeah.
What's it gonna take? Everybody go get him a big Henry. Go get some big boys, man.
It's too pretty now, man. Everybody want to pass. It's the game is too pretty.
Right. It makes the game a lot easier.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'm Noah Groninger. That's Clint Schweitzer. Of course, you know Kimble Anders and Donnell Bennett. A huge honor. We got to thank him again, everybody. Thank you, Chris Warren, for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Until next time, this is 4 Minute Offense.
Yes, sir. Thanks, guys.